Hello people and welcome to another Carcassonne analysis video. In this one we will be taking a look at a more or less of a celebratory game that I have played against Alexey Pegushev's or Alexey_LV. Now the reason this is a celebratory game is because this is my 400th encounter against the player in question. Over the months and years that I have played against Alexey, I have picked up a lot of tips, tricks, and tactics from this player to use in any game against any player, and I am actually just super grateful that I have been able to learn and still keep learning from Alexey. Most of you most likely already know who Alexey is, but if you don't, he's a 5-time national champion of Latvia, the 2023 World Championships runner-up, and the champion of the 2021 MSO Grand Prix. So the fact that he has titles upon titles upon titles also assures that every time I face him, it's going to be quite a quality game. Now, hopping into the 400th game of ours, let's see what went down. So Alexey starts with a shielded Dorito, which is one of the better tiles to start with. Obviously, it takes a city. We start a city of our own and harass the city of our opponent at the same time. Alexey takes another city. Again, as I always say, it's important to have multiple cities open so you can use triangles, triple cities, and city caps effectively. We continue our own city and at the same time create platforms over here and over here to try and start blocking the features of our opponent. Eight points on the scoreboard of Alexey, and he takes an early field. Even though the field is at the moment only at 3 points, the fact that I have an uncompleted city on the field makes the field worth it, because you don't really want to see me finishing up this city and dropping a farmer of my own to a 6-point field or potentially a 6-point field with another city cap already waiting. Which is exactly what we do. We finish our 6-point city and start a new one, as we obviously cannot leave an empty city cap to our opponent. Alexey makes a road save on his city, making it easy for him to find a tile there at some point of the game. And also meeples the 2-point road, which I don't particularly like. As Alexey, I think I would only meeple this road right here whenever I get a road triangle or one of the 2 remaining daggers to get the whole 5 points of the road. Like, all this 2-point road meeple now does is it allows Alexey to go here with like a city crossroad and then have 2 3-point roads. But then again, he could also go over here with the city crossroad already and cause some nuisance to my city, take up another city for himself, and like just pre-complete a road. I don't see all that much risk in a plan that doesn't take this road instantly. We finish our 4-point city and drop a farmer. Now, even though this farmer is not in an optimal spot because we need multiple tiles to get to the 9-point, well, quote unquote main field here. It is going to cause some pressure on our opponent to maybe drop more farmers or maybe think twice before just fighting a regular curve here or something. So it can potentially limit the amount of tiles that our opponent is willing to use on his road. Now Alexey goes ahead and drops another farmer, but I am not scared of this farmer one bit, as even if I would be losing this 9-point field 2-1, I am quite happy with my position here, because dropping two farmers on a 9-point field at this stage of the game, when only like 10 tiles or so are gone, it's gonna be rather comfortable for me, really, if I can keep this field small. So I'm going to be having meeple advantage for the rest of the game, essentially, and sacrificing these 9 points is, I think, totally worth it. So we are going to try and execute our plan here. We are going to take a 3-point road, and we are going to essentially cut out the left side of this field entirely. And we are also going to not let our opponent make a huge road going all the way from the left to the right. Yellow, not being able to take any quick points with the crossroad, is going to start a pretty optimistic plan and is going to try to win this long 12-point road outright. And well, the issue here is that this is super easily prevented. I can go with a road tile over here. I can go with, like, I don't know, a city tile over here, a road tile over here, or in the worst case, I can just go with a road tile over here, giving 1 point to Alexey. But given that there are still 7 other crossroads remaining, limiting this to one of them is not such a big deal. It's very, very unlikely that Alexey's meeples will be trapped to the road. Since we don't get a road tile in our hand, we are instead going to start another city, and we are going to create another spot, which we can then limit to a crossroad potentially. Yellow adds 2 points to the city and drastically decreases the amount of tiles that I could use over here to limit this spot to a crossroad. Now only 2 starting tiles are good for me here, and even those I very unlikely use there at all, because they are city caps, and I can use city caps beneficially elsewhere as well. And I also have still a bunch of other spots to limit the paths of the road to crossroads anyway. Which is what we do. Alexey very wisely starts a loop road here, and not just a loop road, like the more important part of this move is to being able to expand the field, because he certainly does not want it to be capped at only 9 points. Another shielded triangle tile for us, and we will happily use that to our city. Yellow makes a pretty effective move here, gets to start another city of his own. So now he has great use for city caps. He gets to make an indirect defense on this square. So now it is going to be more difficult for me to block this city or to attack it. And he also is now just an inch closer of completing the large city of his. Now, seeing that I don't have all that many great places to start a new city with this tile, I am going to just simply attack the large city of my opponent. Alexey gets his meeple back, and we make the connection right away. Despite being at just only one meeple, Alexey is certainly not afraid to meeple a monastery, since he has a lot of meeples he can get back easily. Like he can get this meeple back with any road end, can get this meeple back with any city cap, and he can get this meeple back with a curvy road tile. Now seeing that there are 9 points on this field and there are some extra green squares, I am pretty convinced that this field has enough room to expand, even if I would not be the one making the cities on it. So I do want to make just one more city on it and drop a farmer. A quick meeple back to Alexey. We continue our city, and obviously we will not be dropping a farmer on this tile, since it is very, very easy to just crush any hopes and dreams. A simple blocking attempt from Alexey here. Not all that much that he can do with a straight road. And we do make the save on it, seeing that there are still several tiles with a city road still left. 3 city crossroads, 3 road triangles, as well as 2 daggers still. 2 quick points for Alexey, doing what he can with only having 1 meeple. Now here we could do many things. We could finish this city, we could finish this city, or we could cover up this city by going over here and trusting that we are gonna get our hands on one of the 2 remaining daggers. But given that we only have 1 meeple in our hand and we have multiple cities open, I don't really want to be in a situation where I only need city caps to get any meeples back. So we are just going to be taking a meeple back from the most vulnerable position that we have, which is the meeple on the right hand side here. Now, unfortunately for Alexey, he will not be able to take any quick points with the crossroad that he has in hand. But, being such a good player that he is, he does find a very, very useful place for this crossroad. Well, actually, there are only 2 places he can place this to in the first place. But it is very important to notice the subtle things on this board. So let's see what he does here. So he places the quad crossroad over here. Well, why is this a good move? In this position, you have to be aware that all of the daggers with the left-hand side curve are out. There are no more left-hand side daggers in the deck, which means that if Alexey is able to place a triple city over here and point the city to the right, then that means that it creates a dagger hole. And since no daggers exist any longer, it would mean that this city would be blocked for the remainder of the game. Well, I obviously do not want my city blocked. We instead save that, and now we have 3 road triangles still remaining that go over here, and which are going to be netting us some juicy points, and likely will also get us at least a 5-point road. Since Alexey was now not able to block us anymore, he instead limits the square to a road triangle as well, making sure that we cannot run off with a 7-point road versus a 4-point road of our opponent. We are simply going to be finishing our city here. We will not drop a farmer just yet, since now we would be in a situation where we have to find multiple tiles to actually connect to the main field. So we are going to instead just wait for a better opportunity until we can place a farmer over here or over here. And then we are going to try and bring a second meeple into the main field. Alexey starts a loop road, and the reason he starts it from the bottom instead of taking the 3-point part at the top, because at the moment now if I get a crossroad I can just take 3 points here and cut Alexey's road in half, giving him 3 points instead of 4, is that if Alexey starts the loop road from here and then I get a crossroad, I can simply take 2 points over here, create a platform over here to go with another crossroad, and then start blocking Alexey's meeple with tempo. Whereas now I have to find a bit less valuable moves if I want to try and make a block of any kind to this loop road. We don't have all that much we could do with the triple city. We don't ever want to be really attacking this big city over here, because there are only 2 triple cities remaining, and whilst the chances of us getting at least one of those is 75%, give or take a few percentages, still with 35 tiles remaining, it could take quite a while. And also, again, it's not guaranteed that we get one of those. But what we can instead do over here is we can try and make sure that it is going to be very painful, really, for Alexey to ever do anything for this monastery, as he is going to need a field city tile on either side of his monastery, and when he touches either of these squares, it will then provide us a chance to immediately go with a full block on the other square. Alexey completes the loop, and we also get a nice quick point tile here. Take 2 points. not all that efficient move from Alexey, but like not much he could do. To the best of my ability, I assume this road was really to make it impossible for me to find, like, for example, a field crossroad and to go here preemptively, trying to create a 6-point road for myself whenever I get a road triangle. So, like, whereas now, if I get a road triangle, I'm still gonna be taking this road because it is 6 points, but at least I will not be able to finish it so quickly. Now, with 3 meeples in hand, we are going to attack the 12-point field. There are still 3 vanillas and 3 regular monasteries to fit into this square, and this 12-point field is just too big really to ignore, especially as it can still grow. There are still green squares here and here, which Alexey can use to increase the size of the field. Four points to the board of red and makes a very convenient route here, as he now has multiple options really. Given that there are still 2 extenders remaining, which go nicely over here, Alexey might be able to first find like a triangle here, or maybe even a triple city, and go over here, direct the city upwards, and then try find a extender, or maybe even just a tube divider, since there are also 2 of those remaining. So there are multiple great options for him to do. We do absolutely want to use the shielded extender on our own projects instead of trying to cause some nuisance over here or over here, as it is just too valuable of a tile to be used for blocking, and since there is also a free city cap to take. Another 4 points to the board of Alexey, and he does not meeple the city this time, again because all of the daggers with the left hand side curve are gone, so this square would be very easy to block entirely, and having 1 point meeple stuck at this point would be just devastating, with still a bit less than 30 tiles remaining. Juicy tile for us. We finish our 8-point city and start a new one, seeing that there are still plenty of city caps available in the deck. One of the 3 road triangles goes to Alexey. We still have 2 remaining, so not to worry. We expand our little project upwards just so that now that Alexey has 3 meeples in hand, we want to make sure that Alexey is not going to be able to go over here and bring a 3rd farmer to the field, because I certainly do not want to try and create any more potential attacking spots to this 12-point field, especially now that I am in at least a temporary meeple disadvantage. Another road triangle goes to Alexey, and he starts another city. Also wants to make sure that we are not going to be placing a 3rd farmer over here. we simply take the 4 points available to us on the board. And though we could have also went over here to connect to the field, it would be kind of reckless because there were still several city caps remaining, and there would be potential for Alexey to then just find a city cap, go over here, drop a farmer, and then we would have essentially just lost the field in its entirety because there would be no other connection platforms to the field. Plus, the field would have been 15 points instead of 12 points. And thirdly, there are still those 3 regular monasteries remaining. So we have a beautiful monastery spot over here, and we again don't really want to use a vanilla on this spot because it is not as efficient use of the tile. Two more points for Alexey, and we are going to complete our 4-point city here, and we are going to now prepare ourselves to start taking fields. There's a potential 9-point field over here, if you go over here, of course, a potential 9-point field over here with a vanilla city cap, and also we are going to be creating this field to be even bigger if we find that road triangle. Like if we go here, it's going to be 6 already on this side, and just with couple tiles, 9 points and 12 points, and like we definitely want to be winning the fields over on this southern side. Quick points for Alexey, understandably so. And we take the 9-point field. Given that there were still 3 city caps with a road on the left side remaining in the deck, Alexey decides not to extend his city over here, but decides to take the empty city cap to himself, and in case he finds a city cap like immediately after, then he is gonna be able to nicely place a farmer and also gonna be able to contest the field. 3 points for us, and we also want to try and create a platform to go over here and to prevent Alexey from finishing the 6-point city and dropping a farmer, which we are not unfortunately able to do. Alexey manages to find the city cap immediately and drops the farmer, and now we have to go with another meeple to the field, as we do not want to be losing or even equalizing the 12-point city at the bottom. As of right now, we are doing quite fine. We are +5 on the board. We are +11 with the help of the 6-point field. +8 since Alexey has a 3-point field over here. +20 with our 12-point field. +25 with our 5-point city, which unfortunately is now not able to be completed anymore since Alexey took the final road triangle over here. +28 with the 3-point field. +22, +10, and +6. So we are 6 points ahead, but the thing is we have multiple tiles to still unify our second meeple to the main field, so that's going to be at least a +9 move. And on top of that, we have some empty city caps over here, whereas Alexey will only be able to really make any sort of threats if he manages to finish the city in the north. So at this stage, Alexey finally starts blocking the connection, but alas, it is unfortunately exactly the wrong timing to do so, as we find the monastery. Now, I would love to actually meeple this, but given the amount of city caps still in the deck, as well as crossroads, I do not believe that it is in our best interest. And so I leave it be, and I just be happy with the 9 points that we get as we connect ourselves to the main field over here. Three points for Alexey, and now we are just going to be trying to prevent Alexey from finding a curve and using it to unify his 3-point meeple to the 12-point field that we have over here. Alexey adds 1 point to their monastery, and well, this is kind of a far-fetched idea, but at the moment, as Alexey is losing by quite a lot, anything goes. So the idea that Alexey has here is that he is trying to get the final remaining field Dorito or field triangle to go over here, and he is trying to get the final remaining triple city with a road to go over here. So those would allow him to get his meeple back from the monastery and also a somewhat of a large ruin, which would be 7 points worth to be exact. And I mean, this would be just essentially like a 10-point move altogether if he manages to pull this one off. Four points for ourselves, getting a nice juicy city cap. And Alexey, instead of trying to wait for a curve anymore over here, he is just going to unify himself to the 6-point field that we have. And maybe in the future he could still go over here and try to drop a farmer and try to unify himself to the main 12-point field, or the second main field, should I say, from here or through here. Since we are now at plus 12 points overall, all we have to do here is just deny everything even remotely great plans for Alexey. Like, we just have to think, like, what are the optimal tiles that our opponent can get that can still get him a lot of points. And given the fact that he only has one meeple, we do have to take that also into account. So the number one priority here for me is gonna be preventing the idea of a triple city plus this triangle over here. Which is why we go over here and we just add 1 point to the monastery. Now the reason this is actually a mistake, although just a minor one, is that our opponent only has 2 exact tiles that he needs. So the field triangle over here and the triple city over here. But the triple city with a road is the key tile. And with that in mind, we could also go over here or over here, because both of these placements do not allow a triple city with a road to go over here, which is the only tile that is going to allow Alexey to get this monastery meeple back. So we did not need to give our opponent this 1 point. So a minor mistake over there, but it is not all that disastrous for us, as we are still in a plus 11 point lead, and it's going to be extremely difficult for our opponent to get that many points. So obviously, knowing Alexey, he's not going to be giving up just yet. He still has a slimmer of hope, and that hope relies on him now getting a road end on his very next turn. Then he will have some chances if he finds like a monastery over here, drops a farmer, then finds another monastery over here and joins to the 12-point field, or perhaps going over here with a field triangle, then get the final remaining triple city with a road and get 12 points that way. So there are still chances, but they are slim. And with that in mind, I definitely do not want Alexey to try and attack this city anymore in case he gets a meeple back for it. So we block this attacking opportunity with the road. Alexey just adds 1 point. And we are going to be blocking the potential field connection opportunity by taking 2 points over here and making it impossible for our opponent to find a crossroad and then like a double monastery or just a monastery overall, drop a farmer and then get over here through like a curve. Unfortunately for Alexey, he doesn't find a crossroad, he finds a curve instead, but he does something very clever here. He makes sure that I cannot claim a 9-point field because there's no road tile anymore in the deck that goes over here. The remaining tiles are this monastery that I have in hand and another monastery, a field triangle, as well as city crossroad. So now I cannot go over here with the monastery and hope for another monastery or the field triangle to expand over here. I can only claim a 6-point field or just a monastery over here. Which is also what we do. We take the 6-point monastery. Alexey still doesn't get a road end, but only gets 1 more point to his city. We get the crossroad that we do nothing with, and Alexey gets the final monastery. Now, although the end result of this game wasn't particularly tight, I do think that there was some stuff that Alexey could have done differently. Perhaps taking a bit more risk, maybe attacking this shared city over here, or maybe like not even meepling this triangle here, maybe just taking away the entrance spot to the field and having an extra meeple in his hand to, for example, fight for these southeastern or these southwestern fields. But anyway, that is how the 400th game between me and Alexey went down. And although he is still quite a bit up in the win-lose ratio between us, there are some statistics that can be made there on a year-by-year basis. They are very interesting ones. I certainly hope you enjoyed this analysis. Do let me know in the comments if you did, and do leave a like on the video if you enjoyed. I will see you soon with some more Carcassonne content. Bye for now.